It's a really nice car.
Yep. That's the latest pickup.
What are they worth?
Depends, you know, if you have, you know, I mean, we've got the bling wheels and we've got a little bit of tint in our windows. We've got the snorkel.
Yeah.
We've got the tray on the back. Round about sort of, you know, mid-30s for a brand new truck.
What?
Yeah. It's the tallest cab in New Zealand. It's the only truck you can wear a cowboy hat in. I'm trying to ask the Indian boys who were out here from Mahindra, we're saying, how come they're high? And he said, I don't know whether it's true or not, but he said, all the farmers in India are Sikh, and so we had to make the cab that high so they can get their turbans in. What happens in New Zealand, you know, people get a little bit of a profile. There's always a car maker or car brand who are looking at saying, let's link up with them.
Yeah.
You know, look,
especially when you're driving the country.
Yeah. I mean, you know, Barry Crump started the whole thing, didn't he?
Yeah,
you know?
didn't he, eh?
And that's people still remember that. It's iconic what he did.
Iconic,
you know?
Yeah. In fact, it made Toyota feel like a real New Zealand car, didn't it?
Yeah.
You sort of felt
and
real
back
connected.
in the day, the Toyota, the Hilux and things, they were great old vehicles. You know, you could do anything with them.
Linda and her partner run a cafe about an hour out of Christchurch in a small farming town called Methven. Now, controversially, I think they do better cheese rolls than Invercargill.
For all our childhood, my dad had American cars.
Oh, did he really?
Where the first car I remember was a big purple DeSoto with suicide doors and running boards, like, you know, the gangster cars, like Al Capone and all them.
Yeah.
Well, I knocked my tooth out once on the suicide door because I forgot. Forgot to let go. It was opening in that way, but it went that way. Had a bit of a chip on the tooth when I was a kid from the old DeSoto. And then he had a Plymouth Belvedere, and you know, we turned the ripe age of 15 when he had the Plymouth Belvedere, and it had mother of pearl press button automatic switches, you know, to change gears on the dashboard. And we said, Dad, you know, we're 15 now, we've got to get our licence. He says, well, you better take the Belvedere in. And of course, you know, in those days, if you lived in the country, the kid who was going in to get their licence, they drove the car in without anybody else, and they'd arrive there and they'd pretend that their parents were out there somewhere doing something else. And then we got there into Huntly, and Dad had the, you know, the tappet covers and everything chromed and everything, so it looked pretty funky and everything. We get in there and there's a young cop, you know, who's going to take us through our licence, and we hopped in the car and we drove out of the police station and round the corner and parked on the side of the road in Huntly, and he goes, can I have a drive?
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh,
We said, yeah, Mario, you know, so he jumped in and drove around town and stuff like that, went back to the police station and then signed our things, gave us our licence.
Did your dad teach you to drive, or did you just learn on the farm?
Just learn on the farm, you know, you drive tractor, and Jules and I used to drive that round behind Dad's big truck and we'd go and pick up hay for the neighbours and everything. We used to wear our bikinis and gumboots to pick up the hay. After the age of 16, Mum said, I think you should change into something a bit more. Yeah, because all the rugby boys would turn up.
Yeah, and you'd be throwing handballs on the deck. And so you and Jules you're great mates, eh? Like we're twin sisters. We came into the world together, and I don't know, maybe we'll even go out together. That'd be quite exciting, you know, in our old age or something. But we've always had vehicles, and we've loved vehicles, you know. Been a big part of your life. You've travelled the country, haven't you? And you've done some pretty cool things.
You know, loved the truck. You know, we're truck girls. You know, we're not like fancy cars or anything like that too much. When we left home, we ended up with a little thing called a Standard 8, and it came into a car yard in Christchurch. And Jules and I were both working at the car yard washing cars, you know, to get a living in Christchurch when we left home. And then, Jules and I said, we've got to get it. And so I think we paid like, you know, $700 for it or something. So we got that, and then we tootled all around Christchurch, and then we moved down to Dunedin, and we thought we'd need another vehicle, so we bought a bike. We had a motorbike, you know, for a little bit, and then, you know, I jumped on the bike, raced down to the dairy, and this young fella turned up at the dairy with a Standard 10.
Yeah.
I went, oh look, you've got a Standard 10. I've got a Standard 8 at home. And he goes, oh yeah. He goes, I really want a bike, eh? And I go, swap ya. So he drove off with my bike, and I got the Standard, right there at the dairy. Yeah, because we wanted to be a two-car family, you know, we had a Standard 8 and a Standard 10.
That's outstanding.
Left side, Mace. Wait. Get in the truck. Get in the truck, Mace. Get in the truck. Oh, waiting. Okay, here we go. Good boy.
How often do you keep in touch with your sister? Do you ring her every day or week?
Yeah, we have phones down here now in the South Island, and you know, all the crazy Facebook and things like that. I mean, you know,
you're obviously on the road a bit though, together.
Yeah, we're like, you know, over this sort of summer is our busy time, you know.
You know, Jules and I are always on the road. We turned 61 this year and we're still touring around the countryside. And that's our most favourite thing to do, is to travel New Zealand.
Yeah.
You know, and we do have to think about New Zealand, you know, being, you know, an environmental country. If I'm going to go hunting, I'm always looking at it from an environmental point of view, or am
Use
I
what
going
you
to?
take.
I'm going to eat everything that we take. If you're going to look after tar and deer and ducks and what have you, you've got to manage them.
Yeah. Moose, you had enough of duck season.
He's 13. He's been a great old dog though. Hey Moose, but he retired himself last year. Yeah.
Come on, Mum. You don't hunt any other kind of birds?
Just mainly ducks, because last year I think the cull number was about 50 to 60,000 birds need to be culled. Otherwise, they're going to starve to death because they're grain ducks, the mallard. And so, in order to make that work, then you need to cull those ducks so that the rest of the ducks are healthy and not, going to pollute everything in the sense of they're not going to make it.
Yeah.
And then if I'm actually up there in the high country in those rivers, I can say I've been there and that river actually is okay. That one is, the quality of water is good.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at why that one's good and why that one's not so good. And if you're going to be an environmentalist, then you have to get out and up those rivers and say, why are they not so good? You can, and we can't blame all the farmers all the time, because they're a big part of our economy.
Yeah.
And so every single person in New Zealand has to stand up and do their bit for water.
Yeah.
Some of the most polluted little streams and rivers are actually in Auckland.
Yeah. It fills me with so much pride that there are genuine Kiwis like Lynda out there fighting the good fight. We have such a beautiful country to explore, and a little responsibility goes a long way. Speaking of responsible, coming up next on Motorcar, Hayden's backyard is Highland Park and only a stone's throw away from Methven. So we thought we'd better fly Greenie down for a bit of fun on Hayden's watch.
Oh yeah, boy. You ready for your drawing on the next lap?
Drawing?
Yeah.
What am I drawing?
I'll tell you in a minute.
Oh, you're not going to let me check at all. You just cross his head on the road!
I can't tell if he's good at driving or not. Oh my gosh. Have you ever flipped a car?
Oh, a few times.
Oh, okay.